In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the automatic approval and distribution of a $1,400 fourth stimulus check right now in 2024 as the economy is not doing great. That's the focus of this video. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. All right, now this is a question that I get literally every single day down below in the comment section from some of you right here in the community reaching out asking, are we going to get a stimulus check? If so, when are we going to get it? Who's going to be included? How much is it going to be? Is it going to arrive in my bank account or on my Direct Express card? Has it been approved? And again, the questions go on and on. They're asked in a variety of ways, but this is essentially asking, when are we going to get something like this? Well, that's what I want to focus on here in this video because I've said this a ton of times before in other videos. It is always predicated on the health of the economy. I know a lot of us want to believe that it's all based on us asking and begging and pleading and asking for assistance from lawmakers, but that has literally nothing to do with the approval of stimulus checks, but rather it is all based on the economy. I know, not what you want to hear, but that is the reality of the situation, and I want to break it all down for you here in this video because we are seeing the economy not necessarily in a great position right now, and again, what does this mean when it comes down to the distribution and approval of stimulus checks? Again, great question. Let's get into it and talk through the details. However, really fast before we do, if you've not done so yet, make sure to do yourself a huge favor, hit that subscribe button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so. I'm here for you by your side every single day, doing all the research, advocating on your behalf, helping you out in any way that I possibly can, answering your questions, and again, doing all the research so that you don't need to, as a lot of things are changing, as you've noticed for the last couple of years here. It's been very busy. A lot of information coming out literally every single day. There's a ton of information that I don't even share with you in videos because there's just so much coming out every day. I have to talk about, what is hitting the wire and again, answering those questions for those of you here in the community. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so. I truly do appreciate your support. Thank you so much for being part of the community. Really do appreciate it. All right, let's talk about the details and again, answering those questions from those of you here in the community. All right, so when it comes down to it, a stimulus check. Now here's the thing. Again, all based on the economy. Now here's the thing. Last couple years, the economy has been looking relatively strong. Why? Because they printed $6 trillion and they pushed it out into the economy. Any economy can do well when there's $6 trillion floating around being spent on goods and services. Businesses are getting tons of business. Hiring is exploding, all kinds of things. Why would that be a good thing? Well, I mean, obviously, any economy can do well when it has a surplus of tons and tons of money flowing through it, right? Well, the situation is we basically have no money anymore, right? So as in us, the consumer. So when we look at the economy, we have to look at consumers, as in all of us, right? How much money do we have these days? Well, look at our bank accounts. I think we can all compare a bunch of zeros together, right? I don't know, maybe somebody has like $3.41. Maybe somebody else has like $1.69. Somebody else might have like $6 or something if they're lucky. Somebody else probably has like 3 cents. Again, for the most part, we the consumers, we have virtually no money anymore, okay? So if that's the case, then how does this actually impact the economy? Well, if we have no money to spend, that simply means that there's less demand for goods and services. This simply means that businesses contract, right? It simply means that they lay people off, unemployment goes up, supply and demand imbalances are, basically there's no demand for the supply that's out there. And again, we start to cut back on spending. So again, not only do we see this on the consumer level, but we see this on the business level as well. If businesses do not have people to buy their products and services, guess what? They're not ordering as much. They're not having as much staff. They're not having as much employment, things like this. And again, you've heard me talk about all this before in other videos. So it's this big vicious cycle. It takes a very long time to go through this cycle, but when it starts rolling in one direction, just like a train going on the tracks, it takes forever to get moving. But when it finally does, it kind of moves pretty quickly, and there's a lot of momentum behind it. So kind of the same situation here, okay? So basically here's what it comes down to. We're seeing unemployment and the employment numbers ticking up. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Depends how you look at it. When you see unemployment numbers ticking up, that simply means less and less people in the workforce, more people becoming unemployed and filing for unemployment benefits. Now, Obviously, we never want anybody to be unemployed or, be struggling financially, but that's the situation. That's the reality of the situation that we're currently in right now. So we're seeing this unemployment ticking up. Now, remember, a couple years ago, we had a handful of lawmakers come out and introduce legislation that would automatically implement stabilizers into the economy that essentially say, like, if the unemployment rate goes up and hits a certain level, stimulus checks are automatically distributed. If the unemployment rate continues to go up further, stimulus checks, yet again, are automatically distributed. So again, we've had this happen a couple years ago where lawmakers came out and introduced this legislation to implement these stabilizers into the economy. Now, why would they do such a thing? Because they know, just as much as we do, that the unemployment rate is a key indicator showing just how healthy the economy is or isn't, right? So that's why they continue to tie these automatic stabilizers to the unemployment rate, because as unemployment goes up, that continues to show that, hey, the health of the economy is getting worse and worse and worse. If we can hit it with a stimulus check, maybe that would help out the economy a little bit. If it keeps going up, then boom, whack it again with another one, right? That's literally the approach here and what they do with these stabilizers and this whole idea behind it. So what we basically need to continue doing from here on out, again, is continue watching the economy. And again, I know that many of us here in the community think, but wait, what about us? Aren't they watching us to see if we're the ones struggling and if we are the ones asking for checks? Well, you could think that, but honestly, I'm going to be real with you. They don't care about us, okay? I know that's not what we want to hear, but I'm just being real with you. They don't really care how much we're struggling, even though they come out on their little, press conferences and their little social media accounts and make these little posts and say, oh, we care about the people and stuff like this. Do you think that's maybe a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a political strategy or, things like this, especially on an election year? Do you maybe think that has a little bit of persuasion built into it? Yeah, for sure, right? But when it comes down to it, like I've said before, rather than listening to what they say, let's watch and observe what they do instead, right? Are they working on any legislation or anything with lawmakers to actually help the people right now financially? The answer is not much, right? So anyway, this is what it comes down to, okay? So it really comes down to the health of the economy and, like I've said before, unemployment. The unemployment rate is very, very key when it comes down to this. Now, here's the thing. If the unemployment rate continues to tick up and the health of the economy continues to get worse and worse, I can tell you this much. The likelihood of stimulus checks gets greater and greater and greater. For every, say, 0.1% or 0.5% or 1 full percentage point that the unemployment rate goes up, the likelihood of stimulus checks goes up substantially when that number continues to go up. So once per month, we continue to get the unemployment numbers or the non-farm payroll number that we get released once per month the first Friday of every month. That is when we get this number coming out. When we see these numbers ticking up, that just shows that, hey, the health of the economy is getting worse and worse and worse. And the worse that the economy gets, the higher the likelihood goes up. And if we go into a recession, the likelihood of stimulus checks at that point is like very, 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 very high, because they send out stimulus checks pretty much every single recession that we've gone into over the last, call it 24 years. We've gotten a stimulus check every single time in the last 24 years with a recession. So if we see a recession, like a real full-blown recession, stimulus checks at that point, very, very likely. So again, nothing is guaranteed other than the passage of time, right? And, if we go other things, but other than that, we'll have to continue watching this. I know it's not really the answer that a lot of people here want to know, like, oh, we just have to continue waiting again? Yeah, unfortunately, that's all we have to do. It's all it ever is a waiting game with lawmakers. I know, right? So they can go on their vacations, they can sit around and twiddle their thumbs, they can do a whole bunch of nothing and, send out all these little messages that say, oh, we're doing something for the people, and really they're not. But anyway, my point is, that's what we need to continue watching is the economy. The economy will dictate and predicate the likelihood of checks and how much it'll be, who it'll go out to, all the details like that. But as of right now, as I've said before, it's not approved yet, but let's just continue watching. I don't know. We have no idea what's going to happen here, okay? I don't know. Maybe you know. If you know, let me know. Lawmakers don't know. They don't have a clue. They're clueless. Seriously, they really are. But other than that, that's all we need to continue watching is health of the economy. That will tell us where things go with this. Does that kind of make sense? So I can tell you this much. If you watch the unemployment rate and it continues going up, that's going to be the key parameter that we need to continue watching. Who cares about inflation at that point? They won't even discuss it whatsoever. So anyway, so that kind of answered the question for you. I hope that answers it. But again, I'm watching all of it. Don't worry. As soon as I get any information on this, I'll bring it to your attention immediately. That is my dedication and my promise to you. And I'm going to be here for you no matter what every single day. So again, please subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Subscribe button right down below the video. Hit the thumbs up if you want to right down below as well. The like button. Otherwise, make sure to go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. There's thousands of video library. Otherwise, share this video with your friends on my social media. There's a share button right down below as well. Or go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. The ones that I've hand selected for you down below in the description or at the top of the comment section. And as always, check out the videos on your screen right now as well. And until next time, enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one. And I'll catch you again later in the next